So full alignment of academic calendar is considered impractical or impossible. Instead of synchronization, flexibility through modular design and digital tools are preferred. Also, flexibility and micro-credentials were discussed. Since they offer flexible pathway for students, they allow for personalized learning journeys and reduce the need of rigid course plans. Finally, micro-credentials are currently one of the most adaptable tools available. Also, from the same question, we discuss also two main topics: digital tools and platforms and institutional flexibility and support. So for the first one, digital tools and platforms are crucial for coordination and implementation of multi-campus education. They help manage diverse formats and ensure communication between institutions. And finally, on the institutional flexibility and support, flexibility between institutions is key to facilitate exchange of students and student mobility. Institutional support is also necessary to make mobility successful. And finally, there is still some resistance to change within institutions that limits this specific flexibility. Second question, how to ensure that joint degrees or alliance-wide courses are aligned with fast-changing professional landscapes and sectorial needs? Okay, first topic that was discussed is the bridging the gap between academia and industry. So the conclusion is that many times industry often focuses on immediate needs, while academia must prepare students for future skills. Collaboration is a challenge, but it is essential. Co-creation of curricula with industry is difficult, but beneficial for both education and businesses. Finally, cooperation with companies can enhance relevance, but needs balance with long-term educational goals. Also on the same topic, entrepreneurship and innovation in education were discussed. So entrepreneurship is fundamental and should be integrated into all study paths. Students must be prepared not only for existing jobs, but also to create new opportunities. And without entrepreneurship, adapting education to change is nearly impossible. And innovation and future literacy are essential components of modern education. Also, another topic on the same question is adaptability to a rapidly changing world. Technology and job markets evolve too quickly to predict future needs with certainty. It's difficult to tailor courses to a fast-changing world, but flexibility and adaptability are keys. Providing a diverse specialization options within courses can help students to be better prepared. Also, challenge-based learning and real-world alignment were discussed since they help to connect students to real-world problems and industry needs. Students can be motivated by market demands, but education must go beyond immediate trends. So a middle ground was also discussed that must be found between market relevance and long-term educational goals. Finally, the third and last question that was discussed during the roundtable is which pedagogical innovation and the engagement tools are most successfully increase student ownership and motivation across institutions. Two topics were discussed as probably the most promising: student-centered and personalized learning. So personalized learning pathways are crucial for student engagement. Educational strategies should be adapted to the students' profiles, interests, and goals. And focusing decisions on the student increases motivation and ownership. So the topic of flexibility was also discussed and proved to be essential to address the diverse learning needs. Another topic was discussed is the effective pedagogical strategies. So the choice of the strategy depends on the audience and specifically on the course. No single method works for all. Flipped classroom can be effective, especially for older or more responsible students, like master students. Peer-to-peer learning is also a powerful strategy to increase engagement and responsibility. About teachers' roles and challenges. So teachers play a key role through communication and continuous feedback. Building also a connection with students can be difficult, especially in heterogeneous classrooms. And achieving students' ownership of learning is one of the most complex tasks of teachers. We also discuss classroom diversity and flexibility. So flexibility was discussed along all the roundtable. Heterogeneous classrooms pose a challenge for engagement and strategy selections for professors. Flexibility in teaching methods is an essential tool to respond to different student needs. And those strategies must be adaptable depending on the age, maturity, and background of learners. And final words from the roundtable is that alliances are a tool to rebuild Europe, values, multilingualism, multiculturalism, and by rethinking our educational system, because everything is based in education. This will transform our regions, our institutions, to have a common vision and a common goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Rogério. You discuss a lot in 1 hour. Thank you, really. So to present the connection, we will leave the questions for the last part, right? First, they will present all the conclusions, and then in the end, if you want to add something or comment something or question about something, please feel free. So to present the connection with regional and associated partners, Daniel Raposo. Yeah?
So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to present the results of this regional, this roundtable about connections with regional and associated partners. We had the presence of some, our guests were João Gandra from Unigreen, João Moutão from ACE2EU, and Paulo Tavares from RUN EU, and as well from the SEM Alliance, João Santos, and Jim Walker from Bauhaus4EU and Leondo, as you know. And the moderators of these roundtables were made by me and Paul Gomes and Luís Quintanova. So before I present the questions and some answers, I would say, I think I would like to comment that it is important to consider that those alliances are in different levels of implementation and development. So this is why in some cases we have different answers, although they are complements, not in different perspectives. So about the presentation, during the presentation of our guests, they started to talk about the connection that they have prepared and developed so far in terms of their regions. We discussed as well what we understand about regions, and because it's not always so clear that when we talk about territories, and for example in Portugal in a small or large scale, and even the borders that we understand when discussing what is our specific region. So the frontiers change a bit depending on the concept that you use. And when we are considering the alliance, this should as well be considered. So we have some difficulty engaging regional partners due to an unclear approach leading to well-intentioned offers. and for example, sector-specific short course, and to attract. So in some cases, we are, although after all the effort that we made, we are not able to attract the number of participants that we aim to. This depending, even if they are depending on the regional context. Another thing that was a comment on that the challenge is to connect not only with regional partners, but with the country and as well with other institutional entities in different countries. And that the emphasis should be on connection as guiding principle of higher education that must serve society by building links with both local and internationally. And about the importance of developing learning programs co-designed with regional stakeholders. In some experiences, some alliances are doing this by using surveys, tailored courses accordingly, and assessing partners' strengths to enable peer benchmarking. For example, with active involvement of territorial partners across all activities, with lifelong learning initiatives that benefit both partners and the alliance. In some cases, these partners are organizing specific events, such as meetings that can happen in different periods with with different stakeholders as well. Every project or tasks maintains a clear and specific links to one or more local partners, ensuring relevance and mutual support. And about how do the alliances, if the alliances created a regional council and how it works, if that is the case, the answers are, for example, that in some cases we have stakeholders advisory bodies that convene on regular basis, typically annually or biannually, to steer the alliance activities and to establish some priorities. Some, as I mentioned before, some dedicated events and meetings are organized to actively listen and to engage with regional and external stakeholders, enhancing their relevance, especially in early project phases. And about the alliance governance models, deliberately include external participants. This is more or less common to all, with inaugural stakeholders forums scheduled, for example, for the meeting in October, in some cases, in this case. Councils of associated partners comprising multiple representatives per institution focus on strategic issues such as fundings, opportunity detection, and onboarding of new partners. And about regional councils, they often, in an initial stage, one phase, they commit to defining milestones and foster mutual learning by drawing on insight from the alliance at more advanced stages. About this arises to another question about how we should see the students in this view of connecting to the region. And the understanding is that students should be regarded as potential stakeholders with efforts to spark their interest in sectors like forestry and agronomy. This is a specific case. Attracting students' participation is crucial for the vitality and relevance of the alliance, and that engagement of strategies must address both small stakeholders who bring long-term vision and large stakeholders focus on immediate needs. And that programs should cater not only to traditional students, but also to lifelong learners. About the development projects or educational expertise concerning regional issues, or specifically about entrepreneurship or innovation, the answers are that they are approaches that small courses and long-term courses establishing entrepreneurship, for example, with local companies to provide practical expertise or experiences. These normally are more in a technical base. The promotion of pedagogical innovation via target teacher training and a 3-day intensive courses that bring students from different institutions into direct collaboration with stakeholders. And the delivery of short advanced programs for partners, including a dedicated work package on entrepreneurship. This is another case. And developing of living labs and specialized courses with the ambition of interlink and strength regional ecosystem across our participation areas are one of the challenges, even that represents that sometimes we need to make experiences in order to test if we will achieve the intended goals. And this is the result from our group. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. And now the last one for the conclusions from the roundtable, main challenges and management and quality assurance process, is Ricardo Batista, who is going to present. Some of you are already almost, I don't know, sleeping or something like that. For some reason, I know, Elona, I know, but we need to do this. It's not just social things, you know, we need to work also. Come on. Sorry.
Hello, good afternoon once more. Well, on Roundtable 1, we have some discussion about main challenges on management and quality assurance process. We had a quite intense discussion with these 5 EU alliances. I have to tell this. Thank you to the great audience that we had, because they have done their homework very well. So these small lessons, these lessons learned are some conclusions from our discussion. Taking into account the experience of these 5 EU alliances, one of the lessons learned is the frequent meetings. It's recommended to be monthly, online, or even more important, in person, because if we are in person, the discussions will be much more efficient. Another key effort, another key, very important key, is the good communication. What I think I am communicating is not necessarily always what you understand that I am communicating. So we must communicate very well, very good, in order for us to be in the same range and to understand what we are trying to communicate. In the area of students, it is very important for one side the social media, because we are in an area that the students like the social media, but it's also very important the in-person, the peer-to-peer events, once more like I said in the first question. The students like to participate in the decision-making process. They like to be part of the process. They like to be part of the project. And one of the themes that we discuss is that there's a preference for short-term mobilities. Instead of 5-6 months mobility, a mobility of 1 week, 3 or 4 days. There's a preference for those kind of mobilities. It's also very important to involve people, to involve everyone in the project, everyone in the alliance. There's a challenge in what rotativity of people means. There are some transitions, some onboarding, and that's in some cases we have to start everything again to explain the project and the measures that we already have. Are some decisions. In the area of human resources, in some countries, in Portugal is one of them, there are a lot of bureaucracy. There are some problems with the hire process. We have a Portuguese law, and the other countries, they have their own law. So there are some problems with the human resources, the hire, and the bureaucracy in this area. Yesterday, in the rectors and presidents meetings, this was one aspect that we discussed, the legal entity that the European Union wants us to deal with. So, one of the EU alliance has created a non-profit organization. They created as a new alliance member. And in this area, there are some questions like, what about funding solutions for this new alliance member that is a non-profit organization? From the 5 EU alliances, only one has this legal entity already. I think it was this year. Yeah. So it's only one EU alliance. Another problem, and yesterday it was also talking about this one, is the funding, the research funding. So sometimes, as it was said, we must have some creativity in order to have some overcoming research funding. For instance, this one is an example: community building events. Community building events are like research events, but they have not the name research, but it's like a community where researchers can discuss and maybe have new projects in the area of research. It was also this issue, the importance of digital platform to support alliance. This theme was also talked in the other 2 roundtables. There's some problems, legal compliance tasks, for instance, the general data protection regulation, one of the problems that the institutions can face towards these digital platforms. It's important also to note that new projects can start because of the EU alliances. The EU license can provide new projects in the EU alliances under all the institutions that are together. So this was our small conclusions on our roundtable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ricardo. Now we will open the session for questions, comments, suggestions, something. Here we are in that awkward moment again. No one say anything. Yeah, you were very clear. Yeah, you talk about a lot of stuff, and you were clear. I was yeah.
So their legal entity, in this case, they decided to go for a private status. So we don't have only a non-for-profit, which was one case in our group, but also in addition there was this choice, and they said that we would like, we don't see it only as a way to develop expertise and consultancy, but also to create as alliance a certain independence from the intervention of public actors or different actors in society. And they put a fee, if I'm correct, like 5,000 euro per university, not depending on the budget and number of students, but depending, they just agreed to have a fixed amount. And this office now is starting gradually to provide services for university.
Yeah, that's it. They said this non-profit organization is very recent. They are trying. They are with some budget problems, and that's what they decided. All of the EU alliances put some money, some budget on this non-profit organization, and sorry. It's from Leiria, RAN-EU.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone was talking with UNITA also, Erin and Christian. I don't know if you want to talk about their case because they already have their legal entity also, but maybe it's in a different way. Peter, I don't know if you heard.
I did talk to them in a kind of break conversation, and I thought they had a very clever solution, but a solution that it's not available to us anymore, because they had already prepared for the legal entity in their application. So in the application, they already dedicated certain funding to fund the following legal entity. And then the legal entity is actually the, I think, 9th member of the legal entity is a separate member of the alliance and is treated as a full member of the alliance, separately of the other institutions, which I thought was very clever, but we can maybe do that for the second round.
So there were 2 alliances with the legal entity already created and implemented, yeah. Something else? Okay, so guys, thank you very much. Thank you for these roundtables, for all the effort that you did to organize them. And yes, just clap your hands. I don't have a speech prepared for this closing session. Of course, this is just the end of the second day. We have one more day tomorrow, but the day of tomorrow will be different. We will be separating different rooms, working, intercultural training, you know the program as well as I know. But I think it's the last opportunity that I have to address you all together. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, of course, I didn't do this alone. But in fact, at least the program, I can say, with honesty, that I prepared by myself. And this is something that I designed for you. The idea, the main idea, and no. Let me finish first. Just want to say that when I start preparing this, I started thinking, okay, what do I need to do in these days? And I said, okay, I need to show them our region. I need to show our region who are we, what is this, what is the alliance. And then we are struggling with so many, you know, doubts about how to do this or that. Okay, let's go to call other European Universities Alliance. So this is a good thing. And then, of course, all the social part that is quite important, and I agree with Peter. I believe that in the Lona we had also this talk that more than work is the good relation among all of us. This is very, very important, and I feel like I know all of you. So I'm really happy with this. And the idea is, okay, they need to feel comfortable here in Portugal. I want you to say, I want to go back. I like it. Castelo Branco is nice. And feel yourself, I don't know, like at home. You know, I like this kind of informal things, not too formal. I think we are more relaxed deal like this. And be happy, being happy here, you know. And I can see the smile on your faces. And I think we achieved this. This was the main goal, you know. I think, yeah. And this is also for you because you make me happy, okay? You know, be sure about that, you make me happy. And okay, I have a small surprise for you, because Peter is so a nice guy. He had no chance to do the speech during the opening ceremony. And I asked him, okay, so you can do the speech now, because I don't have a speech. I didn't do my homework, but you have one. So come on, Peter, come and close this session for all of us. Thank you very much.
Okay, dear all. Yeah, very cleverly done by Anna. She didn't prepare a speech. I have a speech. I can now prove that I did actually have a speech. Yesterday, I didn't give my opening remarks, and I thought it was actually quite successful. I think it went into history as the day when Peter didn't give his speech, and people seem to enjoy it. Strangely, however, some people then wanted to still hear what I was going to say, and apparently you were expecting some treasure of wisdom. You will realize soon that I don't have it. Some were worried that I put all this effort into preparing the speech, and you didn't want that effort to go to waste. That's very kind of you that you're worried about my workload. So anyway, I now have the unexpected and slightly strange opportunity to give you an opening speech in the middle of a conference. And I am sure this will then go into history as the day when Peter did give his speech. But the good news for you is, and in that respect we have a continuing theme of yesterday. Yesterday I didn't give the speech so you could have a coffee break. Today I'm giving the speech because we're too early and dinner is not ready yet. So so there you go. And I have even more time than I had yesterday. So, my goodness, poor you. Anyway, okay, so I was going to start yesterday's speech with a resounding, "Dear all, how are you today?" Okay, yesterday I was expecting a really resounding, "Good!" And today I'm actually okay if it's just a, "Okay." So anyway, I'm happy with the answer. I don't know about you, but I am asked this question about how are you a lot. And I always respond, I am the president of Bauhaus University. I'm the president of the most wonderful university in the world. Of course, I'm good. Always. Now, you may easily dismiss such a claim as a casual set phrase to avoid answering a question sincerely, but I actually mean it. What complaints could I have that were so fundamental that they outweigh the privileges of my situation? Is my job tedious at times, difficult, even irritating? Yes, absolutely. Is it exhausting? Quite frankly, yes. Can I imagine an even better situation? Yeah, of course. Would I want to change something? No, never. Now, unfortunately, we cannot all be president of Bauhaus University, but I'm actually trying to go for a different point. We are complaining too much. It is true. There are many very good reasons to complain. Humanity faces huge challenges. Climate change, political extremism, social and economic disenfranchisement. That's a long word. You try it in a speech. The impact of digitization, wars. These days we watch in shock and disbelief the continuing horrors in Gaza, and I guess we all feel extremely helpless. The war in Ukraine is re-escalating again. So much death, so much suffering, so much senseless violence and destruction. It's easy to be scared, to be cynical, to worry about the future, to worry even if there was any future, Complaining in that situation seems an almost instinctive reaction. Then again, I actually don't think we are in any significantly different position than the generations before us. In the 2010s, we saw the Arab Spring unfold and collapse, causing the Middle Eastern fugitive crisis. We had the Euro crisis, with all its significant impacts, especially in southern Europe and also in Portugal, for example. The rise of right-wing populism started in the US and all over the world. We had Brexit. We had Gangnam Style. That was a disaster. In the 2000s, there was 9/11 and subsequent wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, including the human rights violations by Western forces. The collapse of the Lehman Brothers wiped out the savings of millions of people and brought national economies to its knees. Hurricane Katrina caused damages of more than $100 billion, the largest natural disaster so far. The 1990s saw the first Iraq war, the wars in former Yugoslavia, major economic disruptions in numerous post-communistic economies in Europe. Princess Diana died. I remember in the 1980s, when I was a teenager, during the Cold War, we had military jets flying low over our houses in Western Germany, and every time I thought the Russians are coming, I was scared. Acid rain caused massive forest decline. At the time, I thought we wouldn't have forests anymore or any trees that I could show my children. Chernobyl manifests the dangers of nuclear power, while at the same time the superpowers were in a nuclear weapons race. We tend to not remember, but we were scared of the future in all times, not only today. I could go on, but I guess you get my point. In all these times, people were scared. The future has always been this future. You can be scared about it, or you can try to make it better. In German language, we have a wonderful term called Zuversicht. The formal English translation is confidence. To be honest, it's not a good translation, but let's stick with that for the moment. Confidence is not hope. Confidence is more active. It's a more vital attitude than hope. Confidence is neither optimistic nor pessimistic, it's possibilistic. Those who have confidence are not fixated on one specific outcome. They simply trust themselves to deal with the possibilities, because confidence includes the precious quality of self-efficacy, the belief that you can take your life into your own hands and make something great. So, you know why I am good? I'm good because I'm not alone. I'm confident because of you, because of us. I have listened to many presentations today. Don't tell the other alliances that were here. We are all members of the most wonderful university alliance, Bauhaus4EU. I love our setup of 10 European universities, good universities, institutions with history, with traditions, with meanings, institutions embedded in and actively contributing to our respective regions. But almost all of them are smaller institutions, institutions that might at occasions be overlooked. And then those institutions decide to join forces, to work together, to make our institutions, our regions, Europe, and ultimately the world a better place. Who should be confident if not us? Because of us. If not us, who should have the courage not to be scared? Think back of last night. Yeah, maybe. Think back of the opening night, the party in the park. Who could sincerely say they didn't have a good time precisely because we had people friends from all over Europe present. It felt wonderful. Because of an evening last night, I believe, sorry, I have to re-emphasize that. Because of an evening like last night, I believe we have the duty to be courageous and the obligation to be confident. And seeing some of your dance moves, we don't have a confidence issue. It must be our contribution at a time where society feels troubled to uphold the belief that there are solutions even to complex problems, that there is common understanding also behind different perspectives, that difficulties in processes can be overcome, that there is value in collaboration, that there is beauty in knowledge. And I would actually like to stress on that last point for just a moment. We had in total, four adjectives in our claim. It was, we are resilient, we are sustainable, we are innovative, and beautiful. And if I looked at all the presentations today, all of them were speaking about the first three. None of them had the last one. So I do believe we need to make that our core mission, or maybe our unique selling point. We know that we can do this because we are already practicing it. We are already doing it, and the events of the last 2 days essentially prove that this is the case. Which brings me to my last point, curiosity. Courage, I believe, is a duty. Confidence is an obligation. Curiosity is a treat. I'm probably preaching to the converted, as we are already here, but I would like to remind us all anyway, we must allow ourselves to be curious. It's fun. Curiosity is kind of like the playful little sister of courage and confidence, and she makes the world so much lighter and brighter. She always runs off to find new spaces to explore, new toys to play with, new friends to meet, and she shares her delights, of the delights of her discoveries freely with whomever is around. I believe our liberal way of life in Europe is under threat today because large parts of society have lost their curiosity. Instead of being open, playful, innocent, people are closed-minded, distrusting, and fearful of change. We as academics, as institution, and as alliance must show society again what a gift curiosity really is. Without curiosity, there is no progress. And now, quite interestingly, also in my original speech, I said I have overstretched my time already. Yesterday, I jumped just exactly to that part. I would like to take the opportunity, as I stand here again, and in difference to yesterday, where we haven't had the experience of the last 2 days, now it is more substantiated, to thank Anna, to thank the team of Instituto Politecnico de Castelo Branco for all the efforts, for all the time, I guess also the money, that went into preparing the 3 days that we are enjoying here together. I do think they will contribute hugely to the success of our mission because it allows us to bond, it allows us to build trust, it allows us to encourage each other. And I am said already, I'm curious for the upcoming programs. Now I'm not curious about them anymore because I finished some of them, most of them have passed already. I'm looking forward to the remaining program of tomorrow. I'm confident that we have had and we will have a wonderful time in the remaining days in Castelo Branco, but then also in the coming days and opportunities we will share in the future. And I am certain we are courageous enough to overcome any potential issues that we may come across, today, tomorrow, and in the future. I am still very happy to see you all, and I'm looking forward to further exchanges tonight over dinner. Thank you.
Just one final note, sorry. Because I was thinking when I start talking that, okay, I need, of course, to thank the team. As I said, the design of the program is one thing, but put this, organize this, of course, I could never have done alone. And first of all, we have the International Relations Office. You spoke a lot with Joana, Roberto, Paula, so all of them. Our Communication Office, Ana Lourenço, Maria, Ruiz Teves, who designed all that you are seeing here. Now we have maybe 8 employees from the Polytechnic preparing the dinner in the kitchen. They are preparing everything with the help of one professor from a professional school from Castelo Branco, who accept to help us because we are preparing this. We bought everything, and it's IPCB who is doing this one. It's not a restaurant, it's not a catering, it's our employees. And the students, they were amazing. We have 8 students outside. You cannot imagine, Esther, for bringing all this stuff from technology school to here. They help us. We leave at 8 o'clock. And Paulo, who is here. Without him, we couldn't have the music yesterday night, and the day of the stage, and all the time, and all the technologies, everything with Paulo. And I don't know, I hope that I don't want, come on, the guys that prepared the round tables, the workshops, my colleagues from IPCB also, always involved with the Alliance. Ana Raquel is here, you know everybody now, but of course, it was only possible because all of these people involved, and I really thank you for all the efforts and all your help. So thank you. And we will serve the dinner at 6. Now you have time to go around, and at 6 in the canteen again, okay? Yeah, thank you very much.
Então,